Hello traders and listeners, welcome to Money Talk with Patrick. I am your host Patrick, trading mentor and creator of TC Trading. So in today's episode, I will be covering more about cryptocurrencies and their current valuation. I will be discussing why they increased in value during the last year and whether it is still a good idea to invest in them. If you feel you have gained value from listening to my podcast, why don't you buy me a coffee? Go to buymeacoffee.com/tctrading to support my content. It is really appreciated. So hello guys, how are you doing? Happy Thursday once again. You know I love to be talking with you or at least give my opinion on different topics about finance, personal finance, cryptocurrencies. We've been talking a lot about that. Now, something that I want to say just before starting this episode is that I have created a Buy Me a Coffee page. Basically, that's a web page where you can support the content of certain creators that you want, right? Now, I love to produce content for you. I love to give people advice based on my experience. I think I've already covered this before, but this is basically what humankind and evolution is all about, right? It's all about learning new skills. It's all about then transferring those skills to new generations and to other people so that everyone kind of learns from those experiences and improve their quality of life. Now, we've also talked about in the previous episodes, if you remember, about liabilities, about what is an asset, and so on. And currently, I've been doing this podcast for free. I've also created a lot of content that's for free, separated from my main cryptocurrency and forex trading course, but all of this is kind of like a liability for me, right? Because I'm spending time and I'm spending money. Like all that I'm doing is not basically for free. I have to pay for the web hosting, I have to pay for different premium things for the web page and so on. So it is costing a little bit. I don't mind, to be honest. This is something that I like, but it's something that I would like to improve. I would like to create more for you guys. I would like to even reach other people. Like I was thinking about creating a course in Spanish because it's all about accessibility of information. I think that's one of the biggest problems in today's world, is that not everyone has the same access to the same information. So with TC Trading, what I have been doing and what I want to do is to make this information accessible. That it's all about honesty with me. I'm not hyping anything, whether it's cryptocurrencies, whether it's meme stocks. I try to be objective about how I approach them. And the reason is I have had friends that reach me and say, hey, is this a good investment? Or I've been promised by these guys, if I invest $1,000, they will quadruple my money in, 1 week, in 2 weeks. I'm not kidding. This already happened. And when I hear that, I'm kind of like, I don't want to say I'm mad, but I know that it's hard when you're trying to be transparent, and it's hard when you're trying to be honest when there's all this kind of false marketing around. So this is my mission with TC Trading, and if you would like to support me, again, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/TC Trading, and there you can literally buy me a coffee, which is basically a donation for the exact amount of coffee. In any case, I will be creating more content for you in there so that you can also check that out, learn more. Again, this is all about becoming better, becoming smarter every single day. So I am sorry for that. I'm now gonna head to the current episode, which is all about cryptocurrencies, right? What is the price? Is it good? Is it too high? Is it a good time to buy? Now, again, I'm not gonna be hyping, and I think the last time I talked about cryptocurrencies and their valuations was a long time ago. So the crypto market cap or crypto market capitalizations, for all of you who do not know that kind of like abbreviation, beginning in 2020 was about 250 billion US dollars. Now, for all of you who had my course, who went through my course, you know that this is what I quoted in the course. This is something that I will need to update, even though I said that it might increase within the course or within that specific video. In any case, the current market as of right now, May 2021, is almost about 2.5 trillion US dollars. Now just think about that, 2.5 trillion when it was 250 billion basically a year ago. Now this is a growth of almost tenfold. This is 10 times the amount of total market capitalization that we had in 2020. That is crazy. A lot of people in less than a year, they make more than 10 times their initial investment. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this. I want to explain that because even though there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of real reasons why this growth is kind of a little bit consistent. First things, if we talk about adoption, payment processors such as PayPal, Visa, MasterCard are starting to include Bitcoin in their ecosystems, which is huge. They have a big and extensive user base who can now have access into buying cryptocurrencies. Now that's the first, payment processors. Second, adoption from financial services, and here I'm mentioning the likes of JP Morgan, here I'm mentioning the likes of Goldman Sachs, who were not really pro cryptocurrencies, but now that coin has been flipped. Now they're starting to open their trading desks and allow their customers to reach this new market. If we talk about fintech, there's apps like Revolut, which is a fintech app from the UK, Cash App, that are making huge movements or huge moves in terms of cryptocurrencies as well. They not only have a very easy and accessible platform where you can exchange different types of currencies. Now you can also buy even stocks, you can also buy cryptocurrencies, and in some cases you can even buy commodities. So this is kind of like the new norm where the retail investor is actually more able to invest in anything that they want. It has never been easier than it is today, which of course carries some risk because there's a lot of people who don't know what they're doing, who are just trading with emotions, who just think, who just hear, oh, Bitcoin is going up, I must get into that, even though that it's already 10 times higher according to the previous low during last year. And again, just to finish this kind of like a recap of the adoption, we have companies like Tesla, like MicroStrategy. I think recently I saw Nexon, which is a giant in gaming I think it's in Japan and also in the US. Well, in any case, they are actually investing in Bitcoin because they believe that due to this inflation, what is happening, due to the interest rates being so low, due to what happened with the COVID, with the pandemic, and everything regarding this financial aid, they are betting on this asset to keep or maintain a little bit of the value of their assets, right? Now, there's a lot of good reasons, right? The point is that there's a lot of good reasons to be investing in cryptocurrencies. Now, which are the top currencies right now? And this is something that has been changing dramatically during the last year. We had the likes of new coins that are actually getting more momentum. I mean, even right now we have Ethereum just blasting through the roof. But let's talk about like the top 5. Now, of course, most of the time, I mean, I don't know if this is gonna change anytime soon, but the biggest one is of course Bitcoin. Bitcoin is around 1 trillion US dollars as of right now. Of course, this is gonna be fluctuating depending on the specific time that you listen to this podcast, but it's around that amount of money. Now, Bitcoin, of course, is a peer-to-peer cryptocurrencies where you can actually not only store a specific value, or this is what kind of like that general consensus is, that it's a store of value, that is a store where you can protect your investments or you can protect your capital from inflation, and you can easily send Bitcoin to someone else. It's almost frictionless, right? We've already talked about what are the perks of Bitcoin. Now, the second one, of course, just like silver is to gold, here Ethereum is to Bitcoin. Ethereum is almost $500 billion US dollars, and this is crazy. It has been going up in a very dramatic fashion. Actually, I think there's a lot of euphoria right now. We probably are at the peak of, I don't want to say of a bubble, because right now there's a big misconception when you say bubble, because people think, oh, it's a bubble, then it's gonna pop and then it goes to zero. No, that's not the case. It's just a bubble like behavior in cryptocurrencies, in the market in general, because of the exuberance that there's going on, because new retail investors who are not really aware about the financial markets are just getting in, spending the money, in quotes, investing without really doing their due diligence. In any case, Ethereum, what's important is that it's kind of like the best or the default example for smart contracts. And I've already explained a little bit about what a smart contract is, but basically it's just an automatic placement of a contract where you say, if this happens, then you send this amount of money to someone else. Of course, the good part is that this might end with a lot of middlemen that are required in certain aspects. For instance, in transfer of payments, sometimes you will have an intermediary who would say, hey, okay, if the conditions are met, I'm gonna make sure that this money is being sent, and so on. But in any case, there's a lot more behind Ethereum, talking about DeFi or decentralized finance, which I will cover in future episodes. And the next one is Binance Coin. Binance being one of the biggest exchanges out there. Binance is basically at the front of the technology. If something is created, you better bet that they are actually gonna implement it. Binance Coin has a market capitalization of around 100 billion. And of course, it's, in my opinion, the best exchange for cryptocurrencies, because whatever is happening, even now NFTs, they are including an NFT platform in their webpage. So that's huge, that's great, that's why it's so valued right now. Dogecoin. This is something that makes me laugh, because of course it's from a meme. If you know that Doge, this doggy meme, the Shiba Inu, the market capitalization is more than 70 billion. Now this is a very weird one, because this is gonna fluctuate a lot, and I'm gonna say a lot, mainly because it has been hyped by the likes of Elon Musk, or it's not that it's hyped by him, but whenever he tweets about it, whenever he makes a joke about it, everyone is like, oh, he's putting the name of Dogecoin around, let's invest in it. And again, this is just like any other kind of like bubbly behavior, that the ones who are investing at the top are really gonna be likely to lose a lot, or at least will have to wait for a long time before it gains that value once again. But the ones who went in at the very beginning, they of course are enjoying huge, and I really mean huge profits. Now the last one, Cardano, more than 50 billion in market capitalization, similar to Ethereum, is a smart contract kind of environment. Of course, you can always do more research on this. If you want to invest, I would actually tell you, do more due diligence, do your research, not because I'm just mentioning you have to, invest in them. I'm just grabbing the top 5 currently so that you have a better awareness of what's happening right now. In any case, reasons to invest in cryptos. 1, increasing adoption. We've already talked about the different industries that are adopting them and that are including them in their, not only the payment systems, but also in their investment schemes. Okay, so this is a very good thing, at least in the long term, because adoption is only going to increase as more and more people jump into the industry. Second thing, potential safe haven asset against inflation. And this is potential. This is what I have been talking about. It's all about the consensus. If companies jump in, if people say, yes, this is going to be the hedge, gold is old and we don't care about it anymore, then it is. Which, to be honest, we have seen that that's the case, but also we have seen other assets also go up as more printing goes on, as the interest rates keep at basically the lowest they have been, as the Biden administration starts giving more aid and so on, as countries continue to do this, keep printing more money, of course all these other assets are gonna be are gonna be gaining from all this inflation. Now the interesting thing here is to see if, for instance, the stock market starts going down, if gold starts going down, if Bitcoin can, or any cryptocurrency can actually sustain its value or even continue going up, because it's very easy to say, yeah, it's a safe haven, but guess what? Every other asset is still going up, so it's nothing special. Of course, cryptos, because of their liquidity, are going up even higher, in terms of percentage wise, in terms of how many times it's actually growing. But of course, bear in consideration that it's not only going up, but it's also fluctuating even more. So what would be a down movement of maybe 10% in the stock market, which is a lot, maybe it's going to be 20-30% in the cryptocurrency market, just for you to be aware about that, which again brings the point of reasons not to invest in cryptos. As I told you, I don't really want to hype anything without really putting the pros and cons on the table. Now, why would you not invest in it? Well, that really depends on you. Volatility is a big thing. Maybe you are risk averse. Maybe you don't like risk. Maybe you don't like to, hey, put your life savings or put in your, I don't know, whatever you earn and you're investing, and then take a look at next day and it's minus 10%. Maybe you don't like that. If you don't like that, if you don't like the volatility, if you can't bear you earning money and then losing it the other day, and then, having all this noise in between, maybe it's not such a good idea for you to invest in cryptos. Now, another reason to not invest in cryptos is because there's a potential euphoria phase right now. And this is May 2021. This is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but usually when there's a lot of exuberance and you see that the price is going up exponentially, at some point there's going to be a correction, okay? So if you go and invest at the peak, and you have fear of missing out, which we have talked about, FOMO, then you might be trapped if the price corrects itself. Of course, this is just natural, but I just want to mention this. Now, just to end this episode, let's talk about the risk versus reward. Now, in 2020, or even before, the risk reward was very appealing, right? You could imagine anywhere from 2 times to even 10 times return of investment. And this is huge for what you actually wanted to invest or what you were actually putting into risk, okay? Now, the market cap was 10 times smaller with room to grow. Now, that's what there was a big reason to actually invest before, because not a lot of industries were jumping in. Now, currently, the risk, in terms of perception, might be a bit less, because way before, 50% downfall in BTC would be equal to what? To 5,000 movement, right? $5,000 in movement. So maybe it wasn't a lot back in 2020 or even before. Now, if you want to have that 50% downfall in Bitcoin, of course, it's around 50,000, a little bit more than 50,000 currently, but that would equal to $25,000, right? In terms of points. So you're comparing 5,000 that was before to 25,000 that it's now. Of course, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because there's way more liquidity right now, but this doesn't mean that it can't happen, because a lot of people forget that we have seen the likes of crashes about 80%, 75%, 90%, and that being something normal. It's not that it has happened once. It has happened several times, and it may potentially happen once more in the future, where you can't say that it's impossible for that to happen. In any case, the reward is also significantly reduced right now, because of course, if you bought Bitcoin at less than 10,000 and it reached 50,000, that's a very straightforward 5 times or even more, depending on where you bought. But now, if you take a look at the predictions, maybe Bitcoin goes to 100K, maybe it goes even more than that. But because it's so valuable right now, if Bitcoin reaches 100K, 100,000 US dollars, well, that's only a 60% increase in return of investment. Whether if you bought it, when it was 10K, and it reaches 100K, then it's more, well, it's basically 1,000% to the upside. Now, this is what I want you to take into consideration. In any case, currently, in my opinion, and this is not financial advice, the best approach is not to do a lump sum, right? It's not to say, hey, I have $1,000, I'm gonna put $1,000 right now. in my opinion, the best thing to do is to dollar cost average in through time, meaning that if you have 1,000, maybe you're gonna put 100 every month, regardless of the price. The reasoning is because if there's a harsh correction, you're not gonna care because you are gonna keep entering into the market even if it goes down. As opposed that if you do a lump sum, then you might actually be losing a lot of your portfolio, or at least you're gonna have floating losses. In any case, traders and listeners, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Money Talk with Patrick. Cryptocurrencies are a very interesting market to potentially invest in. Despite this, don't let FOMO take the best of your financial decisions. Always do your due diligence before investing in any asset. If you are still curious about cryptocurrencies and would like to learn more about trading, feel free to check my Forex and crypto trading course. Go to tctrading.com to find more. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode. Take care.